He's a tough man. He's a great fighter, and I respect him.
What did he do in the first round that made you know that you were mistaken?
You guys saw. You guys saw what I was in there tonight. Yeah, I thought that, once those bright lights hit and that round went and, I was in there, that, I'd find something. And I tried hard, but it wasn't there. And Conor was strong, and he was fast, and he was tough.
My best. And listen, the kid fought hard, he fought tough. He's got power, this kid. He was bigger than me on the scouts. I don't know how you did it. I'm looking at him, he's 168. I'm like, what the hell's going on? But listen, we put on a show.
Chris Eubank Jr. breaks his silence on Conor Benn's terrifying power, saying that the moment he looked into Benn's eyes, he could feel he was truly coming for him. He sensed the intensity, the fire, and from the very first round he knew this wasn't going to be an easy fight.
I looked into his eyes.
Johnny Nelson points out that Chris Eubank Jr. poured everything he had into their last fight, and he just doesn't see any more growth left in him. Even with the weight drama and all the build-up, Nelson believes Chris has hit his ceiling, with nothing new left to push his game any higher.
Himself every possible chance that's going, but in reality, personally, I just think the last performance of Chris, I thought you've got nothing left. There's no more improvement on what I'm seeing there. And I know there was the weight issue and all the build-up to it.
Chris Eubank Jr. acknowledges that tonight belonged to Conor Benn and admits Benn did exactly what he needed to do to win. He praises Benn's toughness and recognizes the challenge he was up against, offering respect as he reflects on his own effort and everything he left inside the ring.
This night's about Conor. He did what he needed to do to win. He fought a great fight, and I'm not here to talk about me.
Eddie Hearn is stunned by Conor Benn's composure and sharp intelligence inside the ring. He notes how Benn's focus let him manage every round with calm precision while still keeping the fight electric. And with a performance like this, Hearn says Benn has cemented himself as the rising star of British boxing and a genuine threat at any level.
No need for a trilogy, no?
No, we want to move back there. Conor's the new star of British boxing, Look, he's filled Tottenham twice, and, he needed to be a bit smarter there. You know how exciting he is, but he just needed every round. I was just saying to him, just concentrate, please.
No. There's no need for a trilogy. No, we're ready to move forward. Conor's the new star of British boxing. Look, he's filled Tottenham twice. And tonight he just needed to be a bit smarter. You know how explosive he is. But in every round I kept telling him, please, just concentrate, just stay locked in.
I only thought that regardless of the issues that I've been dealing with, I would be able to go in there and win. Use my boxing skills, use what you guys saw in that first fight.
Chris Eubank Jr. admits he truly believed he could push past his challenges and beat Conor Benn with pure boxing skill. But despite that confidence, Benn's performance was simply too hard to match. It shows the level of respect Eubank has for Benn's power and sharp execution, even as he reflects on the tough, punishing fight he just came through.
I could see him having a rematch again, or asking for a rematch, but ultimately, I think we should just let it lie now. No, just let it lie. We've done what we had to do. We sold our stadium twice. We done what it said it was going to do on the team.
Conor Benn reflects on all the talk about a rematch and suggests maybe it's time to leave things exactly as they are. He points out how they sold out the stadium twice and delivered everything the fight promised, speaking with the calm satisfaction of someone who knows he sealed both the moment and his legacy.
Yeah, that's sort of what everyone's saying. I think that Conor Benn boxed really well. I thought he was smart behind the jab. I thought his jab's excellent tonight to head and to body. I thought his body shots were good. His movement, Conor Benn put a standout performance on. If you look at Chris, I thought he looked flat. I thought he was sort of...
Adam Smith praises Conor Benn's sharp boxing mind, pointing out how his jab and body work turned into real game changers. Benn's movement and strategy let him take control with ease, while Chris Eubank Jr. looked slow and flat in comparison. And in that contrast, you could clearly see why Benn commanded the fight from the opening bell to the final moment.
Chris is like, he takes his time, which isn't a bad thing. He tries to be articulate, and he sort of overspoke the point he was making.
Carl Frock notes that Chris Eubank Jr. likes to take his time and be precise, but tonight he ended up overcomplicating his own work. It showed a cautious approach that just couldn't keep up with the clean simplicity and sharp precision of Conor Benn's strategy, leaving Eubank fighting to find any real control.
We should never see a trilogy, and honestly, Chris Eubank Jr., I don't know what he does. He looked awful. Absolutely awful in there. As for Conor Benn, listen, if you can get back down to welterweight...
Liam Goff is critical of Chris Eubank Jr., saying he looked off his game and leaving fans wondering what's next for him. Meanwhile, Conor Benn earns praise for stellar performance and the potential to move back to welterweight, continuing his rise. The contrast between the two fighters couldn't be clearer, with momentum firmly on Benn's side.
That's going to go for, if he goes for a proper training camp, boxes a little bit behind his jab, I think he'll get the win. Maybe a stoppage late.
Shane McGuigan believes Chris Eubank Jr. still has plenty left in the tank, even after the loss to Conor Benn. He notes that with the right training camp and disciplined focus, Eubank can box smart behind his jab and take control in the ring again. The threat of a late stoppage shows his power and technique are still very real. Even though Benn dominated, McGuigan's insight reminds fans that a fully prepared Chris can turn any fight into a completely different story. His experience and skill are not to be underestimated.
It was great, but are we going to see that again? Do you want to see that again? No. It's done 1-1, that's it.
Derek Chisora looks back on the fight as an electrifying spectacle, but stresses it should stay a one-off. He feels the drama and tension of that night were complete, with no need for a repeat. His words highlight just how much Conor Benn controlled the fight and finished strong. Chisora recognizes the skill and effort on display, while also showing respect for finality. Benn's performance set a standard and brought closure. For fans, it cements the memory of an unforgettable night, keeping the spotlight on the discipline and brilliance shown in the ring.
Yeah, we beat the Eubanks. Doesn't bother me. I'm a bit more mature than that.
The grandchildren ain't having the sort of trilogy of the legacy.
No, we don't want that no more, mate. It's over with.
Nigel Benn is firm and unwavering about the outcome, declaring the fight over with no need for a trilogy. His words reflect a maturity focused on legacy rather than dragging out rivalries, making it clear the next generation won't carry the same burdens. He shows respect for Conor Benn's achievement and acknowledges the finality of the victory. This statement underscores just how decisive Benn's performance was, while emphasizing the importance of moving forward and appreciating the skill and determination displayed in the ring.
I'm not sure what I can get away with from the last fight. For Chris, the pendulum is, he's rinsed himself down that much, he's thinking he can do it again. As I said, anybody can get down to the weight, it's what you can do with the weight. Boxing's the worst place to be if you aren't going to put yourself at a disadvantage, because it's the only place you can legally get killed. And so what Chris did was, Chris depleted any advantage he had.
Johnny Nelson explains that Conor Benn stepped into the fight brimming with confidence and fully aware of his own power. While Chris Eubank Jr. tried to lean on past strategies, he burned through the advantages he held in their first encounter and miscalculated how much he could get away with. Benn's approach was precise and methodical, applying relentless pressure and seizing every opening. Nelson's analysis underscores the unforgiving nature of boxing, where any physical or tactical lapse is punished instantly. The fight became a masterclass in preparation, stamina, and strategy, showing how Benn's discipline and intelligence let him dominate a skilled but overextended opponent.
Anything away from it, he lost to a faded Eubank, and then he just beat a shot to bits one. That don't make that. He's not 147. He's not 147 champion elect on the back of that.
No, can he win a world title at 147 now, though?
Maybe, but the champions aren't. They're not A-level champions. They're like the B-level champions. Barrios, Crocker, they're very good fighters. Well, they're not great fighters, but I'm still not sure he'll beat him. I don't think Conor Benn's a fantastic boxer. Nigel Benn, 1990, Nigel Benn would have flying Chris Eubank Jr. in one round tonight.
Dave Allen delivers a measured take on the fight, acknowledging Conor Benn's win over a depleted Chris Eubank Jr., but stopping short of calling him dominant at 147 pounds. He notes that the current champions in the division aren't all top-tier level fighters, hinting that Benn still faces challenges if he wants to prove himself on the world stage. By comparing him to Nigel Benn's era, Allen highlights the differences in pace and skill, suggesting that while Conor impressed, there's still room to grow. His commentary strikes a balance between respecting Benn's performance and giving a realistic view of the hurdles ahead.
They're going to have a rematch, and Eubanks had to win. Maybe he's got into this fight. I think, well, if he beats me, it's 1-1, whatever. But he just didn't have that fire in his belly tonight. You know, maybe he's just lost the taste for it. But for me, you know, I don't come to many.
Dominic Engel suggests that Chris Eubank Jr. simply didn't have the fire and drive needed to overcome Conor Benn. Even with a chance to turn the fight around, Eubank lacked the intensity and urgency required. Benn, on the other hand, controlled the fight both mentally and physically, showcasing superior preparation and focus. Engel points out that sometimes fighters lose the hunger that fuels their best performances, and Chris's off night reflected that missing edge. This fight made it clear Benn was the more determined and disciplined fighter, able to exploit his opponent's lack of desire, making the victory both deserved and decisive.
All in, really. Won every round, dropped it. I mean, 10 more seconds, the fight's over. Different kind of fight, obviously, to the first fight, but needed to be. Needed to box smart and not use his emotions in there. I thought he boxed really well, busted him up to the body, and yeah, massive win for a welterweight to come up to middleweight and avenge that defeat and finally get a victory for the Benn family in the 4th episode.
Eddie Hearn highlights how Conor Benn dominated every round, controlling the fight with sharp precision and clear intelligence. Benn boxed smart, kept his emotions in check, and punished Chris Eubank Jr. to the body at every opportunity. Hearn hails it as a huge win for the Benn family, proving that moving up in weight didn't slow him down. The rematch was a statement. Benn can avenge past defeats and thrive under pressure at a higher level. His focus, strategy, and flawless execution left Eubank with no answers, showing that Conor Benn is not just powerful, but tactically brilliant and mentally ready for the spotlight.
Definitely, for me, the fight didn't live up to the expectations. I'm extremely underwhelmed how they've pulled that off. Very, very, very poor fight. Disappointing. It came alive in the last round. That's it. The last round it happened, and Conor Benn got the win. You know, rightly so. But Eubanks tonight didn't turn up. Old overnight. His legs weren't in.
Dominic Engel critiques Chris Eubank Jr.'s performance, noting he lacked his usual energy and mobility in the ring. While Benn earned the win, Eubank's low activity and sluggish footwork made the fight less exciting. Engel's take highlights how Benn's victory was helped by an underwhelming opponent and underscores the value of conditioning and commitment. Yet even so, Conor Benn's composure and precise execution in the final rounds showcase his skill and discipline. This one cements Benn's rising status, while signaling that Eubank must rethink his approach for future challenges.
Easy night's work, and you know, we always knew he could do that, but Conor Benn controlling his emotion and following a game plan is easier said than done. Do you know what I mean? He was brilliant.
Eddie Hearn praises Conor Benn's performance, highlighting his control, discipline, and flawless execution of the game plan. Benn kept his emotions in check, a feat far from easy under such pressure, and made Chris Eubank Jr.'s challenges look even tougher with his focus and tactical precision. Hearn emphasizes that this victory wasn't just about power. It was about intelligence, patience, and composure. Conor Benn showed he can rise to the occasion, dominate a skilled and experienced opponent, and cement himself as a formidable force in British boxing moving forward.